and gentlemen, and welcome to the BlueAsset 2.0 launch. So who am I? My name's Paul Ramble-Jones. I'm the International Sales Director for BlueAsset Group. Excuse the old school, by the way. I still like cards. I'm not young, as you can tell. I'm going to give you a little bit of a history about the BlueAsset Group, and then I'm going to introduce Pia Oosthuizen and the CEO up to give a presentation on some of the most recent innovations. So I've been in the industry, or the financial services industry, for around about 30 years, and there's not a lot that I haven't seen. However, I made an amazing mistake and sold my practice in 2006, which is now 1.2 billion under advice. So I've done a grand job. I met Pia, and between us, we've probably got about 50 odd years in sort of fund structure and financial advisory and that industry. I met him about 6 years ago, and we sort of embarked on a sort of alternative asset class, digital asset class opportunity. So what is BlueAsset? Well, BlueAsset's a digital asset investment business with a fully regulated hedge fund that sits in the Cayman Islands. Now that's very, very unique in this space. That will come out more as we go through the night. We started this off a few years ago, and it was really for cash that Pia and I got to try and invest and make a return in the digital space. And when we realized that in the DeFi world, there was a really, really big opportunity to make great monthly returns. And also the market, if we looked at a thing called Metcalfe's Law, which is just an adoption law, Metcalfe's Law proved that we are going to be seeing a hell of a lot more of decentralized finance, cryptocurrencies, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, I got really interested with it all and buggered off to Portugal to see my son, who just started out in financial services, strangely. Why? And anyway, I sort of was enjoying the income from my digital assets, and Pia was busy beavering away. So one of Pia's mantras, which I love, and it's become one of mine, and as partners so it should be, never sell your digital assets. 18 months on now, we're proud to launch an industry disruptive product. I know that's a bit of a new age word, the disruptive bit. But it allows the average person, it allows the workers, it allows those that can't really be bothered with their own investing to get into something that is definitely about the future. It also, interestingly, brings a growth in GDP and money back into South Africa. Even though it's offshore, people will spend it where? They'll spend it here. So before Pia dissects the product for you, I'd just like you to ask yourselves a question tonight, and I'll cover it back off at the end of the evening. And the question is, why on earth would I want to invest into digital assets? Just keep that one in your mind. We're also launching a really interesting thing, and I'm going to shut up now and move off the stage, because I'd like to introduce the launch of the BA Foundation.
The name BlueAsset originates from the color of Earth from space. And Earth is our most precious asset, as without it, and especially water, no life can exist. For this reason, BlueAsset Foundation's main focus is on water protection and purification. Every day, 2 million tons of sewage and industrial and agricultural waste are discharged into the world's water. The time has come to do something. Hence BlueAsset's launch of the BlueAsset Foundation, whose main focus is based on water purification and education.
Just a couple of comments on that. I mean, I know that we run an education site in the digital space, and also this is something really close to our heart. So we're going to move forward with the help in water is life, right? So and I think in terms of wealth creation in the future, the digital space is one that there are so many opportunities in. I just want to talk, just before Pia comes on, just very quickly about the pace of crypto, blockchain, and DeFi. So, in a 10-year period, while the internet was running at its fastest pace, it was running at a growth rate of 63% a year. You can Google today and look at the same 10 years, just move forward a bit in the crypto space, and it's running at 113%. So that should tell us all something, shouldn't it? And on that note, I'd like to introduce, well, my mate, my partner, and also the brains behind this, really. Without further ado, Pia Oosthuizen.
Hi, good evening all. Just want to say thank you for every single person that actually put in the time to actually get to this function tonight. It's a proud moment in the company's history. We've been operating for not that long, but we have achieved some milestones. Some of our clients are here, and thank you for all for you that did the time to get here. And it's always nice to see a smiling face in front of you. So I'm going to do a very short, just a little presentation. Otherwise, I may just keep on going for a very long time. So I've got a little thing I'm going to read off to make it a little bit easier for me. I'm not as confident as Paul on the stage. I prefer being on the back, the back end of the company, and just make every time sure the wheels keeps on turning. So before I start, it's basically what it's about is if you can just go through this, The world is currently at a turning point in history where the third world countries are now able to actually, elevate their people's financials. And it's a very unique space we're actually in. The new financial systems has been introduced to Planned Parenthood and pro-choice been widely accepted for individuals, institutions and governments across the globe. And what I mean by this is this new DeFi world that we've got. It's a very interesting space, and in the old school people, they struggle to accept it, but it's moved on. It makes transactions very quickly, and we've decided to take a very good look into this. So then we've got a challenge in hand is integration between these two worlds, and what I say that is because there's an old school system that exists. And they struggle to adopt a new world that actually, that actually is busy to build up a tremendous speed. Paul talked about the DeFi world. When your DeFi world is worth about $13 billion already, in trade in this. This is where BlueAsset incorporated using old world structures, and on the backside, the backbone of the system, we're using the new protocols to actually make this whole system works. BlueAsset Comprehensive Super Fund. It sits in Caymans, and it was specially designed for all the fund structures inside. And this is part of the old school systems that works. It's regulated in Caymans, called CIMA. And that's where all this, the protection components, the regulatory services, everything works together for everybody, and it makes this whole system just works incredibly well. Using information, BlueAsset designed a product system that will not only protect South Africans and Africa's people in the financial retirement world from corrupt governments, and we always feel, I always feel sad when I say that, but it is the reality of today's world. But also create a very unique phenomena to increase both individuals' well-being, but also, this whole system, and as I will go a little bit further, you'll understand it actually can actually help the whole country's GDP to make it a better place for everybody in this country. We're sitting with a massive amount of, unemployment, and the only way to fix this is basically to make people, earn more money, and not just earn money, but when they retire, they actually got something to live off and not depend on the governments. That's not efficient at this point in time. Behind every BlueAsset product is one system that drives everything. This is the key. And there I'm going to go a bit off the script here. And the reason for this, I've been studying, and my lovely wife in the front will know me by now. There's not a book I haven't read about financials, not a video I haven't seen, not a I haven't looked at. And trying to understand how this wealth thing actually does exist. And then about a few years ago, this thing just, I call it a fish that slapped me in the middle of the night. And I woke up and understood what I've been reading, but I never told us exactly that. And this is how this whole wealth thing actually, the very rich, the ultimate rich, actually, they implement it in their own lives and their own businesses. So I took this whole thing and I designed something called the BlueAsset Wealth Formula. How this formula is very simple. It's got 3 phases. And what it does, and I'm going to play a little video now to explain it a little bit better. It's a simple system, not complicated, and everything in this company is built on top of this formula. I'm actually just going to play a little video for you, just to explain, the formula itself and also the product that sits on top of it. So please enjoy.
Phase 1 consists of purchasing store of value assets. What is a store of value asset? Store of value is any commodity or asset that would normally retain purchasing power into the future. The main characteristic we're after is that it must be leverageable or able to loan against. Phase 2 consists of leveraging newly purchased assets. What is a leverage? Leverage is a financial term for borrowing money against an asset. For example, the acquiring of a loan against your house, a home equity loan. Why do we leverage? We leverage in order to extract future profits immediately after acquiring the asset. This is similar to receiving a return on investment upfront. To leverage is to reuse your assets to achieve unlimited yields. When you activate a 50% leverage loan against your asset and it becomes repaid, you can reloan against the asset repeatedly, allowing you to extract the future profit from it time and time again, without ever having to sell your asset. Upon activating your first leverage loan, you will have extracted 50% of the original value of the purchase value of the asset. After repayment of the first loan, reactivation of a new leverage loan, you will have extracted 100% of original value of purchased asset. Your third re-leverage loan will be 150% of the original value of asset. By your fourth leverage loan, you will have extracted 200% of your original value of the asset while still owning the asset. This can go on indefinitely. Where does these leverage loan funds come from? These funds derive from foreign institutions. Due to the fact that we keep on adding leverage loan to asset, we exceed our initial funding value by 300% in short to medium term. Phase 3 consists of purchasing income-generating assets. What is an income-generating asset? Any asset that generates a positive cash flow, such as mutual funds, savings accounts, fixed deposits, property, and dividend-paying stocks. The purpose of acquiring income-generating assets is to generate monthly cash flow. The BlueAsset motto is "Wealth is measured in time." Personal wealth is measured by how long you can survive after you stop earning an income from your work, and not by how much you have readily available. Each person's personal expenses differ in value, hence why wealth is measured in time. The ultimate goal is to be financially free, and when your passive income is equal or exceeds your monthly expenses, then you are truly financially free. Wealthy. Now, how do we implement product on top of the wealth formula to achieve financial retirement and financial freedom, and how does this help our economy? Introducing BlueAsset Digital Asset Flexi Income Life Plan. the first digital alternative global flexible financial retirement life plan. Located in the Caymans, that's out of reach of corruption. Dollar-based, meaning protected against local currency depreciation, generates foreign funds that boost local growth, good for the GDP of our country, can be modified to suit all industries and institutions, have two unique customizable features. Age 50 lump sum can be accessed from income fund. Salary assist, buying twice the amount of assets for retirement against normal retirement products with the same amount. Monthly percentage yield. Monthly percentage yield can be adjusted to assist cash flow needs as per client or industry. The product was built on top of the wealth formula. Capital input. Phase 1 consists of purchasing store of value assets which are placed in the BlueAsset comprehensive fund situated in the Caymans. BlueAsset has two store of value funds where newly purchased assets are placed, the Bitcoin fund and the Ethereum fund. The purpose of these digital assets is purely for the characteristics that leverage can be activated on the digital asset, which is stored with an insured custodian. Phase 2 consists of activating a 50% leverage against your asset. Our first customizable feature, Salary Assist, can be applied as per your personal, institutional or company guideline requirements. A leverage loan payout can be used to assist an employee's salary in buying double the amount of assets than compared to a normal retirement plan. For example, Ben earns a 10,000 Rand salary and 5% thereof is deducted for retirement funding, leaving Ben with 9,500 Rand in his pocket. At BlueAsset, we have a different approach. We use 1,000 Rand of Ben's salary to buy assets, then activate a 50% leverage. Add this to his salary and Ben still has 9,500 Rand in his pocket, but now he has 1,000 Rand worth of assets instead of only 500 Rand as with normal retirement funding. We've just doubled the amount of assets that Ben owns. Our second feature is infinite leverage. This unique mechanism comprises of splitting leveraged loans into multiple smaller portions, increasing velocity and accelerating additional continuous leverage. Additional leverage funds in turn increases your overall fund value and is used to fund the income section of Phase 3. Phase 3 consists of sending the leverage funds from Phase 2 to the monthly income generating section. Inbound funds from leverage can be seen as foreign funds as they are acquired through loans from global institutions. The income fund offers 1.7% MPY monthly percentage yield, which increases every month for 10 years to achieve a final yield of 4.46%. This growth is achieved through unique company delayed profit system, where the company adds its profit to yield pool to increase overall fund value. Monthly percentage yield is customizable as per individual requirements or company guidelines. How? Profit for monthly percentage yield is generated through DeFi protocols. These funds, including leverage loans, are from foreign origin, giving us an overall estimated 500% return back into the country within a 10-year period. In conclusion, our clients can modify their monthly percentage yield and salary assist, making our product adjustable for any industry and/or corporation. As 98% of employees in South Africa will retire in South Africa, our product's flexibility will result in an indirect contribution to the country's overall GDP because of the fact that both the leverage funds from Phase 2 and the monthly percentage yield from Phase 3 are generated from foreign revenue.
Thank you for that, Pia. Ladies and But I did say to you that we've got a disruptive product, and this is actually it. One of the really important things, I think, is we're trying to get institutions, we're trying to get more employees into the digital space. You know, we're so used to Fidelity, and we're so used to Coronation and BlackRock and all the stuff that often doesn't work for us. So this is the new age. I've no doubt about that, and I'm sure that you guys here are probably in the same sort of space. You might remember I asked you a question earlier on about why on earth would we want to invest into the digital space. Well, I got it's not a funny story, it's actually very sad. But it's a story of my own emails. So I'm sitting at home, and I've just moved into this fabulous house, and we've named it Sterling Lodge. And it was at a time where we got a computer, and you know, I used to fiddle around on the keypad. I had no idea how the thing worked. It's probably about 24 years ago. And this guy phones, and he's from AOL, America Online. He says, "Can I come in and set you up on an email?" I'm like, "What? What on earth is that?" He said, "Email, right? You send people mails electronically. It's for communication." I'm like, "No idea what you're talking about." Anyway, luckily my wife at the time, she seemed to. So along he came, in it plugged, and he said to me, I think my wife had gone out into the kitchen, and he said to me, "What do you want your email address to be?" And I went, "Huh?" I said, "What does it matter? I'm not going to use it." 24 years ago. How many emails do you think my inbox has every morning? So if the digital space wasn't there already, then it's here now anyway. So what I'm saying, I think, in summation on that one is, don't be late to the party, be early to the table. I'd like to thank a few people here tonight, especially our existing clients. I know I've met a few. Sorry if I haven't spent so much time with you trying to get in here and get this done, but it's fabulous to see you. Thank you so much for your support. They have been for over 2 years. So yeah, I think on a finishing note, I'd like to leave you, before I say thank you to a few of the people that have looked after us here today, I'd like to just tell you of a quote of Tim Berners-Lee. Now, some of you might know that he was the actual inventor of the World Wide Web. And he once said, and I quote, "The web, as I envisage it, we haven't even seen yet. The future of this technology is much, much bigger than its past." On that note, can I just say a few thank yous, Pia? Yeah? Do you want to say a few with me? Can we thank, as always, we thank her a lot, Elizabeth Rennie.
Before we go on there, all the BlueAsset staff, can you please come on stage?
Oh, that's nice. Well done, guys.
Just want to introduce you to the team. Without all of them, nothing of this is possible. Glenn, don't hide. Where are Glenn?
There he is. Coming up, Glennie.
So this is a small team, but each of them is very, very important about this whole system. Willie,
where are you?
you're not going to hide.
You can't hide, but come on.
The developers, Willie and Christian is part of the dev team. They make the back end work every single day. So I just want to thank every one of you guys for putting in all the effort every single day to make this dream of us, and it's all our dream, BlueAsset, work. And there's a little thing I brought up here that says, "Never attempt to teach a pig to fly. It wastes its time and annoys the pig." And the reason for that little saying there is basically we're seeing a very unique circumstance at the moment. Most people, they just live life. They earn a salary, they want to go home, have a braai, have a few drinks. And each one of you that was invited tonight was actually for a specific reason. You don't know it, but you were actually selected. And the reason for it is for us to get this product across to the people of the country. Because they are really busy. They don't really have the time to worry about financials, worry about the end of the day when they stop working. So it's our job to get this to them. And that's why I selected all of you to come to help us, assist us And not just getting it across to the people, but also, design the product and change it for any special thing we can actually do. Guys, the rest of you can go off again while I just finish up.
Thanks, bud.
And I'm going to run quickly through this little piece here, Just listen.
According to 2019 findings, only 11.9% of respondents have entrepreneurial intentions. This means 1 in every 8 South Africans may be considered latent entrepreneurs intending to start a business within the next 3 years. The remaining nearly 90% of the population are either employed or looking for employment. For these South Africans, life consists of working, family time, and some personal time. Most do not have the time or the motivation and knowledge to make massive financial life changes. This is where the slogan comes from: never attempt to teach a pig to fly, it wastes your time and annoys the pig. Let us not waste time trying to teach the majority of employees to be committed to setting aside proper funding for their retirement, as they are simply too busy keeping head above water to focus on financial retirement. Persistently attempting to convince them otherwise eventually becomes annoying. With that said, this is why BlueAsset created the Flexi Income Life Plan, to provide the average employee with the power and tools to become financially free at retirement. Ladies and gentlemen, you were each invited here tonight because of your individual knowledge and skills in your industry, associations, and corporate and business knowledge. BlueAsset needs your feedback and input in how and where we can implement this life-changing plan that can be modified to fit into every possible industry, association, or corporate structure. Here are some examples of modifications that can be made to suit specific industries or corporations. Professional athletes earn substantially more than the average employee, but have a much shorter working career, ending roughly between the ages of 30 and 35. This leaves them without a monthly income after retiring from their professional career. The BlueAsset Flexi Income Life Plan can be modified to accommodate these athletes. Funds from the income fund are still only available after the age of 50. Our gold medalists need this for their golden years. But the monthly cash flow can be activated at a specified retirement age for professional players. Due to the fact that athletes are able to add larger amounts in their first few years of employment, they have a bigger pool of funds in the income fund, which will allow for a fairly decent monthly payout when they retire and their monthly percentage yield cash flow becomes available. Another example is domestic services. Housekeepers are a predominantly female occupation, and many are single mothers. They struggle to keep head above water, especially when the time comes for their children to start attending school. The BlueAsset Flexi Income Life Plan can be modified to accommodate them too. Funds from the income fund are still only available after the age of 50. Our golden ladies need this for their golden years. But, from the first month, or the first year, we can modify the Flexi Income Plan to pay out 1.7% of their monthly yield, and then defer the growth component of 0.023% back into the income fund. This portion can also be set aside for their children's education. From these two very simple examples, we can see how the Flexi Income Life Plan can be modified to work in any industry. So please help us by supplying information on the requirements and challenges that different industries are facing, so that we can start creating a future for the working people of our country, unscathed by the claws of corruption.
Thanks again, guys. So the food is probably going to be brought out as we please enjoy the rest of the evening. We are here to answer any questions. Share with us your ideas, your thoughts. That's what this whole evening is about. It's about new ideas, new ventures into the future. And you know what? Let's make this country great again, because we have got the opportunity to actually fulfill what this great country of us actually is possible of. So please enjoy.